Obviously, you're back with the IndyCar Series and the Indy 500. Tell us a little bit about how exciting that is and how you kind of came to this point.
Well, I'm pumped. I mean, it's like unbelievable that this is even happening, and it's perfect for me because I've always loved radio. I've always loved everything about the Indianapolis 500, and to be able to come back and do it, I mean, that's awesome. It just is totally a serendipitous thing. I mean, well, this is open. Why don't we take a look at it? And I did, and there we are.
That's awesome. So, you've obviously spent a lot of years here at the Speedway.
Since 73.
There you go. That's quite a few.
As a worker.
As a
Back
worker.
to 60 as a guy.
Well, there you go. So, looking at that span of time, favorite moment from the past, and what are you most excited about looking ahead here, into this year and the rest of the season?
Well, you just asked the one question that is the hardest for me, because you can talk favorite moments, but there are favorite moments the public relates to, and then just favorite moments that you were part of in the garage area, something like that. So let's remain public. The '82 race, I mean, without question. One, it was on radio, and I strongly believe in the theater of the mind, the imagery that you can create in radio. But what it was for us, and you didn't have all the fancy timing and scoring then. You did everything by hand in the booth, and it was, not the computer age then. But I recognized coming out of the last pit stop and timed a couple laps, and I hit my button that goes to all the guys. I says, guys, Mears is gaining a second a lap. We have, 19 laps or whatever? That's going to put him side by side with John Cock on the last lap. So let's play that angle. And of course they did. At Radio Network, it's a team anyway. But boy, did they play that thing. And with the end result, that we were right down to the line. And now there have been closer finishes since then, but I don't think there have been as dramatic a finish as that, because the closure was so absolute. I always got a kick out of it. The television missed the really big moment, and we had it, which was at one point, John Cock was all but sideways coming off of 1, and then Mears hit a bump going into 3. There were 2 times on that last lap that the whole thing could have been over.
So, kind of looking back on some of your famous calls, famous moments.
Mm-hmm.
The Delta Force opening is arguably the most popular opening to any of the Indy 500. Are we going to see any type of a tribute to the Delta Force opening with the IndyCar Radio Network or IMS Radio Network?
Don't tell anybody. I got something in mind. It's neat that you bring up the Delta Force openings, because it was only a few years ago that I realized there was this big cult going on YouTube with it. The way we did those was very fun. Don Ohlmeyer was the director, and he's a story in himself. That'd be one of the other stories I could tell you. But he would go in the trucks. They were all done here. They weren't produced out somewhere like they are now. And what he wanted to do, and what he did do, was he picked 100, 200 of the best possible shots that he had. And he linked them together visually. And he kind of had a thought train that would go through it, but he wouldn't tell me. And then he'd hand it to me and say, here, write something to this. And so I'd write something, and I'd kind of run it past him, and that's good. And usually we'd have like 2 minutes that we'd talk and then go away, and then 2 minutes again. And then on the Thursday before the race, after the practice was done, that was our time to record those in the booth. And it was so much fun to do them. But it shows you that you can take imagery and make a story out of it. I love doing those. I really did. So we'll see.
Good answer.
There's rights and all kinds of troublesome things, but we'll see.
Okay. So I guess last question, looking ahead to this year, the Indy 500, the rest of the season, what is the one thing that you're just the most eager, you can't wait to get to that moment?
The first green flag, the second green flag, the first road race here, the Indy 500, the whole thing. I've been around a long time, yes. But I'm one of those people that still feels a little hair standing up when I go through the gate here at the Speedway itself. And I love the competition. And I'm sitting at home. I don't have to worry about play-by-play because last year I'm sitting at home watching especially the road races. And I'm doing the play-by-play. And oh, look at he got high, he got low. Oh, my goodness. So it was good stuff. I'm looking forward to the whole season.